welcome to the Sacred Matrix. I'm your host, Janet Lessin, with my co-host, Dr. Sasha Alex Lessin. Our producer is Thomas Becker, also known as the Mad Painter, and you're listening to Revolution Radio, Studio B. Our guest is Mary Lawton Johnson. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about her before I bring her on. Okay, some feedback. Hold on a moment.
Well, it could be those followers of Mary.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, so what Mary tells us in her bio is she is a dual-credentialed chef with numerous culinary accolades and awards to her name, and she's appeared in several media venues from the Food Network, PBS, Glossy Table Magazine. She's been an author of culinary for over 15 years, and she works for the top 1% of the world, which has been her life, garnering much success for nearly 25 years. However, there is this other side. She is the only medium in the world who can film spirits and speak with them during the daytime. Every photo or video that she takes has a ghost, spirit, elemental, native Indian soul, sprite, or the deceased soul of a human or animal. She's been able to capture as many as over 100 spirits in one photo. Not only can she show ghosts in the daytime, but she can make us see them too. Good, I want to see some ghosts. Literally, she is a spirit magnet and can carry a message from the other side that no one has ever seen. She donates her time and effort to find the missing or lost and rescues animals. As a psychic knower, she has given thousands of readings for free, sight unseen, as far away as India, Indonesia, Europe, and Southeast Asia, Scotland. And she prefers to give readings sight unseen, or she doesn't know anything about the person prior to the reading. This is very exciting. Sasha, what would you like to say?
Oh, Mary, I want you to read Janet.
I want you to read Sasha and Thomas. Anyway,
guys, there's a lot of interference.
Yeah, it goes about on a talk. Let me turn down my mic a little bit. That might help. Not sure what's going on. Okay. See if that clears it up. How's that? Any better?
No, I still hear
Spirit is trying to speak to us through this sound. Clarify it a little so we can discern it. We are listening now.
Okay, our hero, the producer, is fixing it for us. Whatever's going on.
Wow, I wouldn't doubt if that wasn't spirit. I'm serious, because that's why I can't do telephone readings, because spirit chimes right in. You know, there'll be so much static, the phone will hang up. Something I say about them, you know, they'll hang up the phone. Janet, as far as you go, okay, there are some women around you.
Okay.
I don't know, mother or grandmother. One of them is saying like a sister, and you have a gift. I want to say that maybe you could be sensitive, asensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be somewhat psychic. Now, I know nothing about you. I prefer not to know anything about anybody before I do a reading. But the two women, and one of them is holding a dog, a small little dog. And so I don't know what this means to you. Mm-hmm. I don't know who they are. So maybe at some point, you know, if you think about it, and you kind of look like them in a way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, my mother had a little Lhasa Apso, dog, Lhasa Apso, that died, and so she was just devastated when her little dog died. I am very psychic. My entire life, ghosts have come to me, and so that's why I'm very excited about the topic. And the other one might be her mother. She was very bonded with her mother. She cried every day of her life, you know, wanting her mother. Could never comfort her. She was just so distraught that her mother had died.
Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. Well, those are the two people that I see around you. So now I know that. Or now there's a young male around you, and I don't know who that is. Like maybe 16 to 18. I don't know who that is. I don't know if it was a cousin, if it's a friend's child. That I don't know. But they stand behind you. Family stands behind you. Okay. Friends I see stand beside you. This guy came right up through the middle. So that tells me that he probably was family.
Well, we had a young man living here for a couple years, and he was a very powerful, charismatic being. Everybody came around him like flies on shit. I mean, they just adored him. He was a natural leader. And unfortunately, he died at the 26, but he looked very young. And he said it was cancer, but I'm not sure what he died from.
Oh, yes, you are.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing cancer. It could have been.
No, it wasn't cancer.
I'm not seeing that it was.
Not seeing cancer. Well, that was the story, but I think it was AIDS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, he wanted to make his presence known, so he came straight up through the middle of your relative, like boom, like I'm like family, I'm here, and they only do that, when they want their presence to be known. But so far, that's what I've gotten on you. Now, as we go along, I'm quite sure others will show up, okay? Because it's like, once you open that door, you never know who's going to walk through. And usually when they walk through, it's just their presence and, to let them know, for me to let you know they are with you. They're not going to give you, I'm not one of those kinds of mediums or psychics that say, oh, these are the lottery numbers and blah, blah, blah,
Right.
Yeah.
So don't ask, Sasha.
So
what about
Go
ahead.
Turn the camera on me so she can see who I am.
Okay, I don't know if this will work. Okay, here we go. Wait, I have to open up the camera. Go ahead, keep talking while I get this thing going here.
There's a little old lady. She's probably 80-something years of age with gray hair around Sasha. Short.
Who's that, honey?
I don't know.
Short.
There we go.
My sister, but she's probably younger, and she's not short. So it's somebody else.
Your grandma?
I see Janet, but I don't see.
Oh, you can see me.
I see
Sasha,
you.
come over here.
You guys are so
Hi.
and then
There.
Hawaii. Hey,
Right there.
Sasha, what you doing? Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. She's a little old lady.
There we
now, I'm getting now. I don't know why.
It's you.
I'm the little old lady.
It's you, buddy.
Short little old lady who's got the balls of a big football player, but she's but she seems like she's tough on the outside, but she's sweet, really, really sweet once you get to know her. Was that your grandmother? This woman is short and she appears to be maybe Jewish or something. I got Jewish.
Yeah, my grandmother was so cloyingly in love with the little boy that I was that it was overwhelming.
Right. She never let you grow up in her mind?
No, she just she always wanted to hug me, and she leaked urine, and I didn't like the way she smelled. I was just a little boy, what the fuck. And I'm glad she loved me and everything, but it was unpleasant to be around her. And I took a rat and chased her. What the heck?
Bad little boy.
And so I love the old lady, but yes, I had a grandma.
Hi, Grandma.
But was she short in her older age? Was she short, kind of?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did she have gray hair?
How tall was she, honey?
Yeah.
Light gray hair. Okay.
And there's a sphere. A sphere.
A sphere. And she was Jewish. Yeah, a sphere.
A sphere. Oh, okay. All right. Who committed suicide? That you guys know?
Oh, well, male or female? We know one of each.
This is.
Now we know two women.
Okay, so there is a male coming through for Sasha that I want to say. I want to say Sasha. Okay, and I'm getting suicide.
Who suicided, honey?
I know a lot of my friends died young, but it wasn't suicide. Car crashes or stuff like that. Or
we had a tenant that overdosed. We had a tenant that lived on our property that overdosed.
Oh man, I'm sorry, God. Everybody thinks that if someone commits suicide or takes their own life, not meaning to or meaning to, everybody, we're all taught that they go to hell, and that's it. I'm sorry, that's not the case. Okay, whenever I see someone who has committed suicide, usually if there is a relative or a loved one on the other side who is there when that person takes their life or overdoses, catches their soul.
Okay.
It's kind of like they're Velcroed to that soul that just lost their life. They're Velcroed. They catch them, so they don't go into the gray area. Now, I have.
Yeah, I know who it is. I know who it is exactly. It's my partner's son. It wasn't I don't know if it's suicide or not, but he rode his motorcycle. His dad had died, and he was so close to his dad, and he didn't give a shit anymore, and he drove the motorcycle. It seemed to me like a suicide.
It was Sasha. It was. He wanted to take his own life because he was so distraught. Now, but so anyway, so he's okay. Okay, he's happy.
His name's Devin. Yeah. He's with his dad.
Yeah, he's very happy. It's a stupid ass thing to do, because he missed out on so much in life, and he couldn't see far enough to see that. But usually, what I was saying was that, like, if someone commits suicide, usually when that happens, when their soul leaves their body, a loved one is there to catch them. Not all the time, though, okay? And I've seen those, and I've had to go in and rescue them. But typically, a loved one is with them. It's kind of like, like I said, a Velcroed soul to the person that just committed suicide to kind of help them on their spiritual journey so they don't stay up here in their mind and dwell on the darkness and stuff. It's kind of like they're a protector, and they'll stay with them until I guess they've reached a certain point in their spiritual journey where they'll leave and another spirit will come in. I've seen that happen. So he is happy. He has a lot of regrets.
He's happy. Well, let me shed a little light on it. His father, Jim, drove over a stream which was overflowing, and he ended up killing himself and taking two women with him right down the road from us on the way to our property. And then he came to me and sat at the end of my bed for 2 years, Jim. And he was so distraught that he had killed himself and two women along with him. Yeah. And I worked with him. I would go out of my body, work with him, and I got exhausted. And I said, Sasha, I can't do this. I have a full life, and I can't be working all night with this man. And so during that time when he was dead, Devin was, they had moved. And I saw Devin at one point. We were coming down, we have a dirt road that's one lane, and Devin was coming around on his motorcycle, and he, at the last minute, veered away from it, and he was going to come over the top of our hood. And in that moment, when I saw him, I said, "Oh, that's how he dies." I just knew in that instant. He escaped death there, but I go, "This is how he died."
Full speed motorcycle around blind corners.
Right. And so, so then his dad died, and then within about a year or two of his dad's death, he did die that way. Mm-hmm. And in fact, he went over a poor tourist. We live in Maui. This poor tourist was driving down the highway, and here comes this kid and runs right into his vehicle and kills himself. So I'm sure they were devastated.
Oh, I'm sure. My gosh. I mean, that stays with you forever. You can't, but, but that's all they can think about is their own despair and not anybody else, how it paints a whole picture for everybody else, who's involved in their life. And he has a lot of regrets, believe it or not. But he's, and that's what I'm hearing, but he is with his father. So that's good. Yeah. His father was there to catch his soul, okay? So he didn't go down into the depths of despair. Now,
and when Devin died, the dad stopped coming to me. And I went, "Oh, he's gone over with his son." He was coming to me every night, and I had to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, Jim, I can't work with you tonight." So I would work with him once in a while. And as soon as his son died, I think in some way Devin was rescuing his father. They were rescuing each other.
They were rescuing each other is what it was. Those are the two souls that are velcroed together that are on a spiritual journey to protect each other from going further down into despair.
Good.
Okay.
Wow. That's awesome. Do you see anything else around? Anybody else?
There's a tall man.
Sasha.
Is that his brother? Did he lose a brother? There's a tall guy, and I'm getting like a brother. It could be his father, but I'm getting like a brother. So I don't know. He kind of looks like him in a way, but I don't know who this man is. He is tall. He is thin. Tall. I'm 5'4", so anything taller than that is tall to me. But this guy looks to be like maybe he could be 5'11". I think he had darker hair when he was alive, and as he got older, it grayed. But he's thin, and I want to say cancer. He died from cancer.
Do you know anybody?
Just when I was a kid, my Uncle George, but he lived to be a ripe old age.
All right, what about your teacher that called you that day and said, I'm dying?
Oh, Will Griffiths.
Well, what did he look like?
He was the same, 5'8", maybe big strong guy.
Big strong guy. Okay, no, not him.
Remember,
it's a mystery. Yeah.
And it grays, okay? And Sasha and I think like a brother. That connection means that they were close, or they were somewhat family.
Did Charles die?
No, Charles didn't die, though.
No, he's not dead yet.
I got lungs. Like there was cancer. It ate him away. It just caused a ton of weight loss in this person.
What about Willie Wolf?
Oh, Willie, yeah. But Willie was young, yeah.
Yeah, we had a friend that he had melanoma cancer, and he kept fighting it, and it finally came back, and then he announced that he was dying, and so we had teams of people that would go over and take care of him. So it was a long process, but everybody let him die at home. He didn't want to be in the hospital. So
was he tall, like 5'11", 5'10"? Did he have
about that? He was receding hair. We used to wrestle. We were about evenly matched, but he was way younger than me.
Oh, okay. Well, that's so funny you say melanoma. I'm a survivor of malignant melanoma on my face, and they got it in time. Yeah, that's
wow.
Yeah, right here. I've got a 7-inch scar that runs right here, and I wear it proudly. Gotta tell you, I wear it proudly.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? You see all these. Well, I'm in Palm Beach. Okay, you see all these women with Botox and the puffed out lips and the plastic surgery. You know, you just erase every moment in your life that counted for something. You know, come on. Right. You know, this scar right here. Yeah. That's and I'm like, you know,
it's you. It's your history.
Yeah, it's your history. It's your
yes. Yeah.
That's how I feel.
What about Thomas Becker, our producer? Do you see anybody around Thomas? Thomas, are you there? You're there, of course.
Somebody that had cats. I don't know who's got cats. I'm seeing cats.
We have cats.
Oh, you got cat? I got cats here. I got Chacha right here with me.
We have 3 that come in. We have 1 house cat, 2 that come in and out, and we always have about 5 or 6 that, you know, we feed in outdoor stations. And so, who do you see? I've got,
there's a beige. There's a beige, almost like an orange one. Why am I seeing that? Is that still alive?
No, it's Marmalade. Yeah. We called him Marmalade. He disappeared. We never saw him again. It's just one day he stopped coming to the feeding station.
Yeah, I think he's passed because I can see him. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's been years. We figured he probably died. You know, we're up in the jungle, so sometimes they just don't come back. But we take care of them as long as we can. You can't capture them and tame them. They're just wild, yeah. But he was sweet. He would roll over on his back and say, "Hi, Tommy."
Well, guess what? He's still there because they never, as you well know, animals that that we have or that we have loved, and they know that. My voice will not go on the recording, so not a good idea to talk to me. Okay. I guess that's the producer. Is that? I just saw this blip across the screen.
Oh yeah, his voice will go on the recording. So yeah, I forgot that he's in a different realm than we are, so we won't be able to pick up his sound. Okay.
But he's listening. He's listening. He's listening to what you see around him.
Oh, okay. Well,
now I had a 20-year-old cat. Yeah, do you see any other cats? I had.
Does he have a cat though? We were doing Thomas. And
okay,
the question is,
Thomas.
Does Thomas have cats? Yeah.
We don't know. He can't answer.
Okay, Janet. There's a black cat that I'm seeing. Let me finish with you. There's a black cat, big black cat that I'm seeing around you. But what I wanted to say was that our animals never leave us. You know, people automatically think that when our animals die, that's it. No, I'm sorry, that's not it. I have got, I can't tell you how many pictures I have of cat souls, dog souls, lion. I have a soul of a lion, okay, and a soul of cow souls. I got a picture of that, and but they never leave who love them. So people think, I'm going to give this stuff away to, donate their food bowls, their beds, just put it away, throw it away. Don't do that, okay? Because they are still with you. You can still call their name. I had a dead cat in the hallway at Joe's house. Joe is my significant other. At Joe's house, a couple of weeks ago, and my other cat Meatball saw him, and I got a picture of him, and Meatball ran right through his ghost. Scared Meatball to death, but it was one of my deceased cats. And then they walked up on the bed. I'm thinking it was one of my live cats, but it walked up on the bed and slept right beside me, and this was just like 2 nights ago.
Oh. Well, the black cat was Midnight, and Midnight was a very special kitty, but he didn't get to live very, long. He just, I don't know what happened. I heard that he got trapped in a cage, and somebody took him away. But he was like I raised him from a kitten, and I was very sad for years. It's like I never found out what happened to him. Somebody said he got caught in an animal trap, and somebody took him away.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, this cat has passed. So no, but around Thomas, there's a woman who's kind of stout. She's kind of big. She wore she's what I'm seeing is a paisley kind of print dress. Pretty simple woman. I want to say she had kind of long hair, but I don't know if it was long, but pulled back in a bun, like right here, and like a rubber band kind of thing. Brown hair. But I see cats around her, and I don't know who that woman is.
Yeah, I don't know if he can type in. Let's see. I'm somehow on a different. Because I've got a camera. Let's see. I'm going to take my camera off.
He says no clue. He says no clue. I'm wondering if it was like an aunt or a neighbor, because I'm seeing the houses like where he lived, or maybe where he grew up. I think this happened when he was a child, and the woman lived real close by. That's all I'm being shown by spirit. So anyway.
No.
Maybe he could figure it out. I don't know. And, some people say, oh, no, I have no idea who you're talking about. Go back and think, because spirit always has a message and a meaning for what they show. Now, they show me signs, symbols, imagery, kind of like a short little 10-second movie clip happening. And then it's up to... I'm sorry, what?
Like a gift, like a you're listening. Go ahead. You're listening to spirits?
Yeah. And then, so they show me this, or else they'll just come stand straight in front of me, and talk. But most of the time it's like short little movie clips. And then it's kind of like pieces of the puzzle that I have to put together with the person that I'm talking to. Like I'll say, this is what I see. You're the one that would know who this person is. I don't. So, and spirit validates themselves that way, like, yeah, you are talking. I am talking to like your grandmother, Ida, or whatever, so that's how it happens for me. Other times they show up. And when I say show up, I mean, they show up, and it like the other night, I went to my producer's house over in Sarasota, and I am not kidding you when I say there were 8 spirits waiting in that home for me to show up. They knew I was coming. And one by one, they came up and talked on and all I use is my iPhone or my iPad. That's the only thing I use. I don't use any.
You record their messages? You just record it, or what do you mean you use? What do they do?
Take a picture of them.
Oh, you just take a picture of them.
I talk to them.
Okay, so tell us how that works.
I get them on audio, and then I can take pictures of them too. And then another thing is, I went into a museum not too long, and every object in that museum spoke to me, and I got it on video.
Can you play us something that they've said?
Sure. Be glad to.
Okay.
Might scare you, but that's a gift that people have never seen before, where paintings.
Oh, I'd love to hear that. Yeah.
Paintings and sculptures and all that talk to you. Yeah. Okay,
well, so I went to a big museum in Pittsburgh, and I went over and I said, do not touch, but they had these facades of buildings, and I went over and touched it. And as soon as I touched it, I saw all like the streets and all the people. It was like I was instantly teleported back to the time, and I saw where that building came from. And I mean, these are huge facades of buildings that they just cut off and shipped to America, to Pittsburgh, in the Carnegie Museum. And my second husband was with me at the time, and it freaked him out. And he grabbed me by the arm and he started yelling at me, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I was just having the best time. He said, and he dragged me all the way out of the museum and to the car. It was just so freaked out. But very little scares me.
Yeah, you can't have, you can't, faith and fear can't live in the same house together. Is what I say. Okay, so let me see which one this is. Let's see if this is the one. Okay, here's one. Okay.
I can't really tell what he's saying.
Okay, hang on. Let's see. Maybe that's not.
Yeah, what was he say?
It won't tell.
Is he going to play again? Oh, it's growling. Here, let me start it.
Growling.
Yeah, let me start
Growler.
It won't tell.
And then it starts growling. I went there and I asked it a question, and it said, it won't tell. It's high, right? That's one. But I'm talking hundreds and hundreds. Each one of these has something. Yeah.
So what are they trying to tell us from the other side? What's the overall message you get from them? Since they're not really dead, they're just in another zone. When they come through, what do they want to say, for the most part?
A lot of them are lost. A lot of them need to find their way. Okay. A lot of them need to, they can't move on in their journey, their spiritual journey. Okay. Because what happened to them in life, maybe what they've done, maybe they have issues, or they had issues with someone, they never forgave them, maybe they did something bad, they never repented for that sin. Some of them just didn't believe in a higher power. A lot of the messages are help, and I'm lost, and I need to get a message to a loved one. Like, for instance, I had a Rolodex of faces, okay? A whole roll, just a roll of faces, talking. Each one was talking as it went by, okay? These were spirits.
Wow.
No idea who they were. But just, each one of them saying something as it was rolling. It was a whole Rolodex of them. And that happens from time to time. And, it's hard for me. I have put out messages on Facebook and other social media sites when a spirit comes to me and I don't know who they are. I'll say, like, for instance, here's an example. There was a guy Atlantic Records named Mar Brown. Okay. I was in Palm Springs. I was awoken by him. There was a spirit pacing back and forth by my bed. And I'm like, "Who are you? You want to give me a name?" And he said, "Mar." I said, "Okay, Mar, what do you want?" And I got insurance, something about insurance, and I saw ticket. What the heck does that mean? So I put it out on Facebook. Did anyone look at someone named Mar? And then I had two people respond. I had a woman go, "Oh yeah, my Aunt Mar died 18 years ago." I said, "Nope, this is a guy." And this guy came forward. He goes, "Yeah." He said, "What do you look like?" He said, "He's African American, good looking man." And he said, well, do you know what he did in life? And I said, well, he keeps saying insurance. So I don't know if he was an insurance salesman, but then he's dressed in like this super, like sequinly, sparkly jacket, and he's handing out music tickets. And I mean, it was a peach-colored, champagne-colored jacket, and it was beautiful on him. Handing out music tickets, and it turns out it was Mara Brown of Atlantic Records, who and why he came to me is because I knew the man, and he was a good friend. His wife, best friend, is Mara Brown's ex-wife. Okay, and the insurance part, I said, well, I thought he sold insurance. He goes, no, it's Mara Brown of Atlantic Records, and you seeing the music tickets is because he was the president or vice president of music over there. I said, oh, okay, got you on that. And he said, but the insurance thing is he cut his ex-wife out of the insurance 1 week before he died. And he's
boy.
Yeah, of everything, and he gave it to his girlfriend. Okay, cut off his first family, gave it off his girlfriend, and the message was, "She's not who she claimed to be, and I'm so sorry for having cut them out of insurance." So I got to really know.
Wow.
To his ex-wife, and yeah, it was a very cool moment. It really was. And it's wonderful because Spirit, I'm just a vessel. Spirit uses me to get a message, So, but like, for instance,
Can you pull in pull in particular people? If somebody comes to you and they want you to pull in a particular person, can you access them?
It all depends on what. It's not up to me. It's up to Spirit. Okay. Now
It's up to them. Okay.
Yeah, it's up to Spirit. If Spirit, like for instance, I had this woman that contacted me, and see, I normally do my readings and stuff through like Messenger. I don't do them live. I try not to if I can help it. But this woman came to me. She said, I want to talk to my ex-husband. I said, okay. And then, well, the ex-husband, he was dead. He was dead. And then he's like, no, I don't want to talk to her. I'm like, he didn't want to talk to you. And she's like, you get him here. No, demanding it. Well, Spirit, okay, he went and he hid behind a wall up a partition, which just signals to me like this man wants nothing to do with his ex-wife. And the woman the woman had a guy in the bed with her. I'm like, what the hell you want with your dead ex-husband when you got a man in the bed with you? And oh my God, it was such a mess. So anyway, the deceased ex-husband was like, I want nothing to do with her. She made my life miserable when I was alive, and that's it. Yeah, so I had to tell her that. Well, that didn't go over too well, but anyway, so. It's up to Spirit. It's up to Spirit whether or not. Yeah. Now I can tell you that when Prince died, I'm in Pebble Beach at my old job. I'm in Pebble Beach, and this all of a sudden. But what was really weird was he wore a red necktie, not a purple one. He wore a red one. Okay. A scarf, a little scarf or sash around his neck, but he was dressed all in white. And I'm like, holy blank, you're Prince. And I know you're going to think I'm crazy. So I called up my friends. I called Joe. I called everyone I could think of. I said, you're not going to believe who's standing here in my living room in Pebble Beach. He's like, who? I said, it's Prince. He goes, no way. And about 1 hour later, they came out that Prince had died.
Oh, wow. Well, he came to me too. And I was actually just waking up. And, I wake up and there's Prince. And I go, what? Well, I'm not a fan. Oh, he started playing one of his songs, but it wasn't Purple Rain. I can't remember what it was now. I woke up to his song in my head, and then I go, oh, here's Prince. And then I called, Sasha was in the room. I said, come over here, Prince is here. But he couldn't see him, but I could. And then he said, I said, why? And he was so happy. He was so happy he was dead. He said, I'm free. And he was ecstatic. And he said, I want to gift you with something. I go, what? And he says, hold on. And he brought forth John Lennon and George Harrison and Gene Roddenberry and Spock and all these people and he filled up the whole room with all these people that I love. And then he brought over my girlfriend's husband who had just died. And I'm going, oh my God, the whole room is filling up with these people that it was all these, like my bucket list. I would have liked to have met these people while they were alive. Some of them I did get to meet. And then he left. It was, but I said, why are you contacting me? Isn't there somebody in your family? He goes, well, I'm coming to you because you can see me.
Yeah.
And then it was over.
Nobody else came. I know, right? And what I got was he with his house, he's like, screw it, with his house. He was dressed all in white. He was dressed all in white with the red, but it wasn't a purple one now. It was red around his neck. And I don't know what it signifies, but it was red, and he was smiling and he was happy. And it was, when I say that so-and-so's standing there, and you probably had the same thing happen, but I had Robin Williams with me for 4 days. 4 days of Robin Williams and I watching the TV about his death. He was not in a good place.
No. I didn't get Robin Williams, but I got the other one that died, David Bowie. They were like back to back.
Yeah.
And he was miserable. He was not happy. David Bowie was miserable, and Prince was dancing like he was ecstatic. Yeah.
Well, Prince went to a really good place, but Robin Williams, there was a lot of, I even got depression when he was standing there. I mean, it was overwhelming. Mm-hmm. Okay. Was not in a good, happy, smiley place at all.
No.
Not to say that he's in the gray area, but I got to tell you, just was not a good place. I'm not saying that he's there, but I kind of have a feeling that he's walking through the gray area, kind of lost.
Yeah. I saw a YouTube with the, what do they call the EVP when you can record them, that there's some equipment. And he was swearing, saying, oh, I screwed up. And then at one point, after about 3 or 4 days, it seemed like he was saying, oh, my dad's here. My dad's come to help me. But that was on one of the YouTubes. I don't know how accurate they are or not. But
yeah, and come to help him. See, when he said come to help him, that right there says a lot. Yeah. So... But I got, gray and depression, and for 4 days, this soul was in my living room in Pebble Beach. And I'm like, why are you here? Why me? And I'm a gatekeeper is why. I am an actual gatekeeper, which is, I've been told it's rare. I don't know. Who knows, right? Who knows? But I do I'm a gatekeeper for this side, and my identical twin sister, Amy, is the gatekeeper for the other side.
Oh, your twin sister passed?
Right. She's on the other side.
Oh, that's... Wow.
Yeah.
So you're quite teen. Was she psychic?
Yeah. Very much so. I always thought that she was much more psychic than me. I mean, there's pictures of us years, God, maybe 20 years ago, and there's this big vortex around Amy with spirits floating in it in broad daylight. So yeah, she's very, very, very psychic, very much so. So yeah.
Were you able to help Robin at all to integrate where he was? Like,
Yeah,
were you able to help him at all?
I was. I think he had to see when spirit like takes their life, if there's not another one to grab them when they die and say, hey, come with me. Then they're just going to kind of vacillate back and forth, maybe go to the gray area, maybe go down a little bit more because of where their mind was. He didn't have anybody. Okay. At the moment of his death, there was nobody there. So, what's the next thing is to go to where the biggest, brightest beacon of light is. Hello, is the living room.
Right. He saw you. Yeah.
So, and so that's, unless he talked to Amy on the other side, which I'm quite sure he probably did, and he said, go to Beth, and she always called me Beth. And how I always know she's with me, I've got her on video in a lot of the places I've been. She's sitting there talking to me, okay? Like this last place I went in Sarasota, she's like, come on, spirits, help Beth. So I know she goes with me. So I'm pretty sure she talked to Robin, okay, and sent him to me because I was shocked as I can't cuss on radio, but I was shocked to look up and there it was. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, why me?
Right.
Like, oh man.
Oh man, not again.
Yeah.
So did he interrupt life for 4 days, or did he let you go about your day, or was it just all about him for 4 days?
No, he was so polite and so nice. Like he would come in spurts, like he would stay for an hour, 2 hours. I would go to work. I'd come back. He would be there, and he would leave, and then he would come back. It's not like he sat in my apartment straight for 4 days, although he probably did, a majority of it. But like he would leave, and then he would come back. Like Mars.
Wow.
Usually spirit stays with me until I can help fix the problem, whether it's them or an issue that they had in life. Spirit will stay with me. And before I even go to a place, spirit knows that I'm going. And they will, as soon as I say, yes, I'm going to a place like the plantation in South Carolina, the owner of the plantation from the 1800s showed up at my door in Pebble Beach, and he stayed with me for 3 months until I made that journey to South Carolina to his home. And I described him. I called the owner. I emailed the owner. This is what he looks like. You're going to think I'm crazy, but this man is here. It looks like he was in a Confederate uniform, but it wasn't. It was a Bermuda outfit. It was a Bermuda uniform, but it looked very Confederate.
Wow.
Look, yeah. But normally before I go to a place, spirit knows. And as soon as I say I am going to a place, spirit shows up. So I've got that company.
Do they give you their name? Have you ever been able to look up like their full name and find their obituary or any records of them?
I didn't know who this man was. I described him, and then generally I kind of know who they are. I knew this guy was probably the owner of it. I just didn't know which one. And I don't like to look up anything before I go to a place. I like walking in cold, blind, cold.
Right.
Okay. Because I don't like anything tampering my thoughts on what I see or feel. So I walked in cold, and man, oh man, was there so much more than that. I mean, I got visited by slaves, okay, that showed up in Pebble Beach. Hit the mail out of the mailbox, and there are slaves standing there with their eyes gouged out, staring at me.
Oh, God.
And I thought, oh crap, boy, what the hell did I get myself into? But it's like they were there to show me what had happened to them. And that just pissed me off. And when Spirit makes me so mad that they've done something so horrific to another human being, look out. Because when I go there, they're going to know it. And it made me mad.
Was he the original owner of the plantation, the owner of the slaves? The man that was coming to you, wanted you to go to his plantation? Was he the one that did the gouging?
No. It was his ancestor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was a kind
okay.
He was a really kind man, and I've got him on one of my thousands of videos. Me saying, "Are you proud that you hung slaves?" And you can hear him, "No, he's not proud." So and he still stays there. But I've got slaves up in the trees. I've got them talking on audio. I've got slaves in the summer kitchen outside saying they had a good life. I got pictures of them standing there. That's one photo that I got. There's probably about 75 souls in the photo.
What's the website? Is there a place we can see these photos?
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. That's where you would see it. Mary Other Side Psychic is what I go by.
And you have some of these photos on your Facebook and everything. And you have some of these photos. Okay, I'll have to check that out.
I do.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then I probably took down a few of them because a lot of I don't want to kind of give it away, but a lot of screenwriters, you see what I'm saying? Screenwriters, producers, network people, kind of like to look at these things and get ideas. You see what I'm saying? So take down some of the stuff to protect me and the stuff that I have. Let's see, for instance, I've got a picture of a young gal from like 2 weekends ago who was dead, and she's probably from the 1930s, 1910s. Let me see if I can find her picture. Let's see. Wait a minute. Let's see if this is a. Okay, look at this. These are clowns, right? They kind of freak me out. I'm not about but they talk in this photo. Or they squeak their nose.
Can't quite make it out, but
they're squeaking, honey.
They're squeaking. Huh? Yeah.
Honking.
Yeah, the clown. Now here's one. Let's see. Okay, let me see if I can get
and
this.
The radio people can't see it.
Yeah, the radio people can't see it, but we'll describe it. Okay, so that was a bunch of clowns. They were squeaking. They're making the noise of the squeak. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, now this is the painting in the museum of Matthew writing his portion of the Bible, I guess, and an angel standing behind him. And all I did was take the picture, but you'll be able to hear it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense. So when you're taking a photo of something, you're getting the audio.
The vibes in it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So you're taking like a movie photo so you can get the sound. Yeah. You're not just taking a picture, taking a movie photo and you get the sound.
I took a picture. Can you guys see this? Can you see what I'm holding up?
It's pretty little. Well, I don't know what it is. Oh, the break started. I'm sorry. We will be on break for 5 minutes, okay? So we'll come back in 5 minutes, Mary. Okay, take a break.
Okay.
We'll be back.
Oh, you do? Okay. Really? How about all that interference? My gosh. Wow. Yeah. Who do you know that maybe when you were younger lived in a trailer? I want to say it was that woman with the hair pulled back that had cats. Maybe she also had dogs, like a Labrador. Maybe no, it wasn't a Labrador, but she lived in a trailer. Do you know who that was? Maybe when you were a teenager. Maybe when you were like. Okay, but. Oh, you are? Okay. Because I just got trailer, but then I saw the woman that had the hair pulled back. I mean, it's brown and it's pulled back. Yeah, but this woman lived, I want to say she lived in a trailer. So I didn't know, maybe, I think she's passed because she specifically comes up with you. And I don't know who she is. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I know she's dead. I not she never had animals. Well, this woman's got animals with her now. Maybe she didn't have it when she was alive. Maybe she wasn't allowed to have it. I don't know. But there's a dog there now, and I saw a cat or a couple of cats. Really? Yeah, yeah. So well, I'm a huge rescuer of animals. You know, I've got really. Oh, that's so nice of you.
Hey, can animals move from one? I mean, can they reincarnate? Right. I have a cat that I think was my dog when I was in my 20s, and then I think that was the reincarnation of my cat when I was in like adolescent, and then I had a cat when I was like 3 years old, and I think that cat keeps coming back to me. Is that possible?
Yeah.
Hmm?
I agree. I think so.
I think it's the same soul.
Yeah.
The personality is similar.
But the personalities are different?
No, the personality is similar, no matter.
Similar.
There's always something, and I go, oh, that's, you're furball, you're Fluffy when I was a kid. And so Fluffy was a Maine Coon, and then this one's a Maine Coon, but Fluffy was a male and she's a female. But a similar vibe, but then it also runs through. But before we get back to our show, I'd like to remind everybody to please go over to revolution.radio and go up to the top left-hand side. There's a donation tab, and make your donation. That's for your one-time donation. And then if you want to do a recurring donation, go to the Patreon tab and set it up so automatically you can lend your support to us weekly, monthly, whatever you want to do. And we do thank you very much for your donations, because that's how we stay on the air and keep the lights on and pay the bills. Dr. Lessin, what would you like to say?
Well, I'm going to ask Mary this segment to tell us some detective stories, how she's able to use her skills to help detectives solve crimes.
Yes. So, Mary, welcome back to the show. Tell us more about yourself. How did you discover you were psychic? What was the first thing that happened?
It's really kind of hard to hear you guys. Wow, there's a lot of
we're getting feedback again. Hold on.
I can ask him to stop. Stop it. So, I was, my story involves my twin sister too, Amy. So, when I was 5 years, I think we realized it when we were like 5 years of age. When we were real little, we had a lot of stuffed animals, and I would build forts around me as a child. Wow, listen to that feedback.
Maybe it's just one place.
Wow. Maybe Tom expected it.
Better.
Hey, shut up.
So when I was, we were real little, I would build like forts of like any stuffed animal I could find and pillows, and I'd place it up around me so that I couldn't see over and they couldn't see me hiding behind it. And, these were spirits. And and I would have to sleep with the lights on. I was a kid. But do you know a lot of this plays true today for me now. I'm not exactly a young chickie anymore, but when I go to bed at night, I have to cover myself up with the blanket and a hoodie. I wear a hoodie at night to lower the light kind of thing, shut the gift down. It doesn't shut it down, but it just kind of makes it a lot dimmer, So I can get some sleep. But
I understand that. I've been there.
Yeah. So, Amy and I, we were like 5 years of age, and I grew up in the Bible Belt, like deep South, like you do not talk about a gift, you don't mention it. And if you did, they would run your whole family out of town. I grew up in South Carolina, and my dad, my dad was a town doctor, and, we couldn't, and it was 300 people, 5 churches, that tells you something. Okay. And so you couldn't mention your gift. I kept it hidden for many, many years, to the point where it became so overwhelming. I'm like, I've got to do something with it. This is a gift given to me to help. And so basically kind of came out of the proverbial closet, so to speak. I'm not hiding my gift anymore. I don't know if you know anybody else that can take photos of the dead standing there in broad daylight, because it will redefine what we know of as the other side. They're standing there right alongside us in broad daylight. You think they've gone and they're with Aunt Maybelle. Honey, we don't go and sit and sing in choirs all day. We've got jobs to do.
So where did you come out? Where did you come out? Did you do it in your hometown, or did you go off to a safer place to come out? Or
how did you
come out? Yeah.
Basically, I came out online. Social media for the whole world. Yeah, for the whole world to see. Away from South Carolina. I mean, I was 18. I left, South Carolina. I've traveled all around the world, but as my day job as a professional executive chef, I was in the mega yachts for about 26 years, where I traveled as the private chefs to the people that owned them. And so, I mean, I've been all over the world. I've got family in Italy. And so I basically came out online. I can't hide this anymore. And just started posting and caught the eye of a producer. And so we're working on something right now. So we'll see, I'm not in it for the money. I don't charge. What?
That's great. That's wonderful.
Wow, that's awesome. Hey, how did your sister die? It's so sad. What happened that she passed?
She had a pulmonary embolism. And she got up early one morning. And you want to hear something just even sadder. When I was a young girl, it started when I was age 8. I had this reoccurring dream that visited me throughout my life. And I kept seeing myself die in the dream until finally, and it would come every few years. And then when in my mid-30s, it started coming quite often. And I could never finish the dream. Yeah, I saw myself die. And so I walked up and I finished the dream, and it wasn't me laying face down. It was Amy. So I called her on the phone. She lived in Italy. That's where her husband and children were. She lived in Italy, and I was in Costa Rica on a yacht, and I ran to the phone, and I finally reached her, and I said, "You've got to go to the doctor, to the hospital. I just saw you die in my dream." And of course, I'm distraught, severely distraught. And she didn't go. And a week later, she died.
Oh, wow, that's so sad.
No, it's like you never separated. You were tuned. You were in contact across space, and you were in contact. You felt it. You felt her.
Well, when she died is when I became violently ill. I fell on the floor and I was vomiting nonstop. I couldn't stop vomiting. And I tried to get the attention of my ex-husband. Of course, he's dead to the world, sound asleep. And all I could think about at that moment was my twin sister, Amy. And I just had to reach Amy. And of course, that was the exact same moment she had died.
And did she respond when you reached to her when she was crossing over? Later, I immediately, once I found that my ex-husband told me the next morning that he had gotten a phone call. He was crying, and I'd never seen this man cry in my life. And so I was on the next plane out, and she was there. She was in the house waiting on me when I got there. And I had to work with her because she wasn't ready to let go. She had 2 tiny babies. Cristiano was 3 and Julia was 1.5 years. And oh my God! Wow.
Yeah, she was not ready to go, and so I'm not kidding you when I say, this has been 18 years. Now she's in a much better place, but when she died, she was not. But now she is, and so we're tag team in spirit.
Did you adopt those children, or what happened to those kids?
His father was still alive, right?
What happened to them? Yeah.
They're the apples of my eye. And talk about gifted. Oh man, Cristiano is gifted, and Julia has mine and Amy's gift, okay? And Cristiano's gift is different. He can't see them. He can hear them, and he can sense them. He's a sensitive empath and psychic.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, Julia's full-blown. Like, she can see them. She can point. I mean, it's just incredible, their gifts. You know, they got that from Amy, and, of course, which is my gift, too, you know. But the father, Paulo, you know, he has the children. Now Cristiano is 21 or something along those lines, 21, 22. And Julia, I just saw them the other day on that WhatsApp app, you know, I called them. But they're fine. Yeah, they live in Italy. And Paulo raised them with, he married the nanny. Look at my eyes.
He married the nanny. That's good.
Yeah, well, you know.
Are you there?
Uh-huh.
That's amazing. What I went to a funeral one time with this. I knew the man, but I didn't know his wife very much. But she had died, and so she had a 4-year-old. So I go home, and she comes to me as soon as I was deep in sleep, and she's distraught. She's there, you know, she was upset she had died. I should have tried harder, and somehow, you know, I said, no, you died, and they already cremated your body, right? And so I took her hand. I said, here, let me show you. And I didn't know I knew how to do this, but I took her to the future, and I said, here's your daughter. She's grown up and she's fine. See, she turns out okay. And then I came back. I said, you have to go now. And I kind of told her to go into the light, you know, whatever, and to let me go.
Wow.
Have you ever done anything like that? I never knew that I could even do that.
You know, that child was very troubled.
She was very troubled, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope she's okay. She's probably about 18 now. So probably now is, you know, when I took her dead mother to the future. I don't know how I know how to do that, but that's what I did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Amy is actually over there with them. Every time I go, she's in the house, without a doubt. And Paulo will tell you the same thing, too. Oh, yeah. Amy's around her children, guiding and protecting them. As far as showing spirits the future, no, I've never done that, you know. I help them with the problems that they have, you know, now, and problems that they had that they have a problem going into the light. For instance, there was a gentleman by the name of John that showed up at the producer's house last weekend in Sarasota, a soul, and he says right on the audio, you know, on my iPhone, I was recording him. He goes, John. And so, you know, John died in a motorcycle accident like a year and a half before all of this. It's like, why now? I guess because I showed up. You know, so he wanted me to put out an information like on Facebook or Twitter. Did anybody lose somebody in Sarasota by the name of John like a year and a half ago due to a motorcycle accident, to see if anybody would come forward in Sarasota. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to. I promised him. But he left behind 2 small children, you know, and these are all things that Spirit shows me, but I've never walked one into the future. That's cool. I got to try that.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing.
That's cool, you know. Now,
but you know, I don't know what to do with all this stuff that I've been doing. So it's interesting. I really like talking with someone else that does all this stuff, because, you know, I've kind of downplayed it, and, you know, almost embarrassed to talk about it. And I have a wonderful husband. I can talk to him about, you know, this. And I don't want to go to mine, but I have a whole list of contact that I've had over the years. But and then about 5 days ago, I was hanging all night in the bardo, that in-between realm. And I don't know what I was doing. And I woke up and I said, I just spent all night communicating with all these people, but I don't know what I was doing. I just knew I was there, and I've never done that before. Is something going on, like with what we're going through right now with the virus? Or they said to me, you think you're going through this alone, but we're here, and we're working on a solution too.
Right.
Something like that.
I kept hearing, I don't really know how much of it is true. Like everybody was blaming the retrograde for crap, earlier, and I'm like, I'm not a huge believer in that. Maybe I need to be, but personally, I'm just a plain old simple medium with an incredible gift that I give away for free. This virus, I believe, was started by, personally, people eating things that they shouldn't eat, the wet markets over in China. But the virus has been around for a very long time. It's just mutated. Okay. And the spirits know that we're going through all of this. So yeah, they're going to show up and you're going to go to different realms. When I sleep, my ex-husband said that I was talking in almost an Arabic language when I was sleeping. And so my first guess was Aramaic, or, Sumerian language. I guess every medium, every psychic will go to a different place, like you went to what did you say it was, like the third realm, or what realm was it that you were in?
I think it's the in-between realm where the people
Bardo.
that are the Bardo, it's called Bardo. It's the realm where they don't know how to get to the next level. They're stuck between worlds. And I tend to avoid that because I don't really like that. But apparently I spent the night there working. I guess there's a lot of people transitioning and they're confused.
Oh my gosh, because where was I? And I must have seen, like, there had to have been 300. Where was I the other day? I looked up and it was an airfield, believe it or not. And there was like 300 people standing there looking through the fence at me. And I could not figure out what the heck was going. And then I realized, oh crap, it's the people that died from the virus. So yeah. So there are a lot of them. They were looking at me. I took a photo.
What do they want of you?
Probably they never got to say goodbye to their loved ones. They have unfinished business. And they need help. So
wow.
Unfinished business, and it's, as I sit here now, it's not unusual for instance, I had some of the murderers from the crime scene in Connecticut that I worked on come here begging for help to cross. And of course I can't cross them. There's no way in hell they're going to get crossed. And it's not me. They just won't let them on to the over to the other side because of what they did in life. But like, for instance, at my producer's house, there were 8 spirits waiting for me when I got there. The lights were flickering on and off, and they were scared to death. This had never happened to them before, so they didn't know what to expect. But at any given moment, there's always spirits around me, always. But at this one particular time, and it was an airfield, you know what it was? I was driving by the COVID testing site. I was driving by the testing site.
Place.
Oh, wow.
And
where's that?
In West Palm Beach. Florida, West Palm Beach. I was
Oh, wow.
I was driving by the COVID testing site, and that's when I saw them. And I'm like, why are all these people here? And then I just put the two and two together. Oh my God, they just died from the disease. And all these cars were lined up going through the testing site. That's where I saw them.
So this is where people were driving through to get their test, but they were surrounded by people that had died.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were infected. They were infected when they went that they were infecting each other as they got in this line.
Oh no, we're talking about the dead people that were there. Why were they at the?
They were watching the live people.
They were watching the live people come in. There's something going on. They're really disturbed on the other side about everything that's going on. And it's not just their own deaths. I guess it's shocking because some people are here one moment, next thing they're, unconscious and they're dead. So
very rapid.
Very rapid.
It's very rapid, and it's like nobody has a chance to say goodbye. And these people, I mean, they were from all walks of life. The ones that I saw, and probably 300 of them just in that one site right there. Now, where did they come from? I think these were souls. All of these were souls who died from this virus that, are coming as a group, because they're all, they aren't able to have last rites or didn't have a chance to summon a preacher or a priest, didn't have a chance to say goodbye to their loved ones, and so, it's kind of like, it's like you die instantly in a car wreck. It's like, wait a minute, I need more time. I need to get a message across. And I believe that's what it is.
So let me see if I got it right. They in a way, they want you to give them last rites in some kind of universal way that will help them all understand. They summoned you to do that. Is that what happens?
Usually when I see them in groups like that, and I've got pictures of groups of spirits together, I basically say, lay your earthly burdens down and walk into the light. Look up, look behind you. Sometimes it's behind them. Most of the time, look up. And I can take a picture and, I'll have 20, 30 spirits there. And I take another picture like right after that, and they're gone.
Would you say that again? Would you please say that same incantation another time?
Okay. Usually when I see spirits that have unresolved issues, I will tell them, lay your earthly burdens down, because they're carrying it on their shoulders into the other side. And I will tell them to look up or look behind them, because that's where the light is. They don't see it. And usually, and these are groups of people. I've got a picture of them, of many groups of spirits. And I'll take a picture, and they're looking up, or they're standing there, and I tell them this, and then I take another picture, and they're gone.
Wow.
They need someone to show them the way.
Wow. So you were saying that you were saying the people that had committed murders couldn't move on to the other side. Can you go back? I might have misheard you. What were you saying? There were 8? I'm misunderstanding.
Let me show you. I did it all starts back with my stepsister was raped and murdered in South Carolina. Okay.
Oh.
And I never knew who the killer was. I didn't want to know who the killer was until much later. I knew really kind of who he was, but I didn't want to know anything about him, because you know what happens with a gift, and I knew he would come find me after he died, and he did. Anyway, so he was electrocuted in the chair. But I was at my mom's house in Lake Wateree, South Carolina, and I'm getting ready to walk from the bedroom over into the kitchen, and boom, there he was. But I didn't know I knew who he was. I knew he was pure evil, but he was dressed in a friar's robe, the brown monk's, outfit, the brown with the hood. He's carrying a stone tablet, completely bald, and on the stone tablet he had names, and he said, and he never looked me in the eye, but I knew it was damn. I knew this soul was evil, so evil that I didn't even dare go near him or do anything. And he said, I need to ask for your forgiveness. And he wouldn't even look me in the eye when he said it. I said, I cannot grant you forgiveness because you did not harm me. You harmed the person whose lives you took, and you harmed the father, and you harmed my stepmother, and you need to ask all of them for forgiveness for what you've done. I cannot grant you forgiveness. It is not up to me. And with that, he got this horrified look on his face, like the jaw fell to the ground, kind of like it was something out of a horror movie. And poof, he was gone after that. Never saw him again. And that happened to be the man who raped and murdered my stepsister. And he died in the electric chair. And here's a guy that had long blonde hair. This man was bald. Well, they had to shave him in order to electrocute him. So every hair on his body was shaved. So that's who it was.
Wow.
Yeah. So, spirit will come to me asking for forgiveness. Now, I'm going to show you guys the photo so you can see it.
Your camera's not on right now. You turned your video off, I think.
Did I?
There's a little camera. You just have to click on it, and it'll turn the video on again.
Is that on now?
No. All right. Well, we'll be like the listeners. We won't be able to see it.
Oh, Thomas is saying it was on.
Oh, it's not showing here.
I'll do that. See what
I'll put mine on, but that will just show you us.
He's saying it is. Yeah, I can see you. I can see you guys.
Yeah, we can't see you. Oh, well.
Oh, shoot. Okay, so is that me? Is that me that says R?
It shows the world.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead and describe what you're gonna do right now. We'll pretend.
That's the wrong thing. Well, I went to this crime scene in Connecticut. I got called up there by a gal who lost her aunt over 50 years ago. And she just went missing, and no one has ever found her. Okay, so she wanted me to come in and see maybe if I could figure out what happened to her aunt. So a famous author, crime author, invited me up because he was writing the story, I guess, and did a news podcast on iHeartRadio about this. But it was a lot more than just one soul, her aunt, that went missing. There were, oh gosh, I got over 30 women were missing.
Wow.
Anywhere from young little girls, 2 years of age, all the way up to probably women in their 20s or 30s. And so I went up there to help. No one had ever been able to solve the case. They had ideas of who did it, of who this serial pedophile was, okay? And it was a pedophile. This person would dress these victims in white gowns and pose them as dolls. and then of course, attack them and kill them. So when I got asked there to go there, I started taking pictures. And in one of my pictures, Thomas, can you see if I hold it up? Can you see it? I don't know if you can or not, but one of my pictures, here are all the little girls. Huh? Yes, okay. One of my pictures, here are the little girls that I've circled that are wearing white dresses, and along with some other spirits in there. And these are the victims. These are the girls that went missing in Connecticut, that were abducted in Connecticut, abducted in Maine, abducted in Massachusetts. And these are not the only ones that I got pictures of. They all came in.
There it is. I can see it now. Can you hold that back up again? Let me see it. Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry, listeners, you can't see it, but
there's a face of a man, another face. Yeah, but this is just one of many photos that I've got of the victims standing there, and you can identify them in my photos of who they were from their photographs in the newspaper, okay? So where they are in my photos or where they are buried. So now they're just going to get the cadaver dogs in once the ground is thawed and once this virus is over with to start digging for the bodies. My lady who called me up, her name is Tina. And of course, I've got a picture of her aunt that's missing. She's in the photographs. So,
was it one of the well-known serial killers? Was it somebody that's known as a serial killer?
Speck or somebody like that?
No. They have not named the person who did this. No one has ever been held accountable for it. He is dead, and they are in my photographs. And usually when a bad person in life, let's say a murderer or serial killer, does something really crappy and cruddy to another human being, they are doomed to stay where they have done their crime. And in the process, trapping other innocent souls because they keep reliving it. Well, when I went in, I came out with a lot of female souls that hopped in the car and left with me. Not all of them did. There's still some there. When I go in, I get the good souls out. That's one of the things that I do.
Wow.
But there's still some that are there, and where they are in my photos are where they are buried. Their bones are. So, and I drew a map for them. So now they have an idea of exactly where to look. And but in the process, I probably should have done more to protect myself, because when I got back to New Hampshire, because I go back and forth to New Hampshire for work, they showed up in the apartment. The murderers showed up in the apartment, and I got them.
Wow!
Oh yeah, and it was a man and a woman. They knew about it. They had something to do about it with it. They never stopped it from happening. So now they are doomed because they could have done something with living to prevent innocent lives from being taken, but they did nothing. So now their souls are doomed. So they came to me and tried disguising who they were, and I'm like, no, not flying with me. I'm smarter than that. I know who you are, and I know what you did, and it's not happening. And for months, they stayed with me, and they come right up to my ear and they go, Mary, help. We've got new leads on, and I can play you something that they said, but we've got new leads on where the bodies are. I'm like, no, you're not trying to trick me. I know that you had something to do, or you knew about the murders, and you did nothing about it. So tough luck, buddy. You need to go back and you need to ask the people that you killed for forgiveness, or the people that you knew who died in the for forgiveness, to save your own goddamn soul. Excuse my French, but it really pisses me off. You know. So yeah, so that's.
So can they, if they're dead and the victims are dead, can they over in the dead world ask for forgiveness from the people they killed?
They have
Is that possible?
Yes.
Yes.
It is possible. Yeah. But and you know, some of the dead may grant them forgiveness. Some of them may not. Some of them probably won't answer them. They're afraid of them, you know, and that's what keeps the innocent from crossing over, or these dead bastards who did this to them, you know. But yes, they can go and they can ask for forgiveness. Now, they may not get it, okay? They may not get it. But when they come to me asking for forgiveness, I can't grant them that because they haven't hurt me. They have hurt other people, and they need to ask for forgiveness from other people first, or they can ask for forgiveness, you know, to cross. I just, you know, that's what I was told. That's what I'm shown. It's like, don't come here thinking.
So what happened to the young girls that came with you? What happened to the ones that you took in the car with you? Where are they now?
They left. They probably went back to their families. They left.
Right. Wow. Do they ever tell you what it's like? Where they do you ever get contact with people that go past that in between world? Are they able to come back and talk to you from beyond this, what we call the bardo?
Amy, I can tell you, yes. Amy showed me the other side, and I've seen it, and it's absolutely beautiful, and absolutely gorgeous. A lot of the spirits, a lot of them that are in the bardo, you know, they're stuck there. They can't leave because of family members. The bardo, I've got video of what it sounds like. I'll, if it's okay with you, if you don't mind.
Sure. Let's see it.
Hear it.
Okay, let me go to videos here, and it's in my favorites. I got to find it. It's a spirit that's in the bardo that's trying to get me to let him out, to choose him, and it's a humming noise. Now he's going to be on the. I don't know if you can see it or not, but he's in the tree, hanging from the tree, trying to convince me to get him down. He's asking me, do you have the right guy? This is an unedited video of a live spirit hanging from a tree asking me, do I have the right guy to go around the place? And this is at the place in South Carolina that I went to. Here he is.
Back up a little bit. Oh, wait. No, it gets too blurry. Back up a little bit. Okay. Now play that again.
Okay. Let's see. Let me turn up the volume on this. Okay.
Okay. Wow.
That's the bardo.
Okay. Yeah. I've been there.
That sound?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now there's a spirit right in the center of the tree. Yeah, that's the bardo sound.
Well, you definitely have to have this series made. So these films, if you got these videos to a professional filmmaker, they could probably enhance them and make them more visible. It's hard to see when it's on your small phone, but what series coming? Are you going to have the series? Because we've got like 10, 11, 12 minutes. Are they going to make a series?
We're working on it. We're working on it. That's all I can say.
Who's going to play you? Do you get to say, I want so-and-so to play me?
Actually, I'll be playing myself.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
It's actually going to be pretty interesting. So when I see him, you guys will get to see him too, because I'm going to be holding the camera.
Oh my God, that'll be wonderful. That'll be great.
Yeah.
Visually, I like all your jewelry. I think it's really fun. A lot of bling. That's cool.
Oh my God! You know, I wear all this to bed at night. I'm surprised I haven't choked myself. You know, because it becomes so up. I wear this to bed. I wear it every day. You know, I don't even think about it anymore. It's just on. So yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, you were mentioning something about the ethereals and the portals. When I was growing up, my house apparently was an interdimensional portal. And there were all kinds of ghosts and ETs, and I guess they're ethereals and are elementals. What are elementals?
Like in the tree there was.
Yeah. Elementals are of the earth. Like, in other words, you'll see tiny, tiny little humans. They look like humans. They could be all white. They could be green. They could be sprites, but they look human form. I've got pictures of sprites. I've got pictures of fairies. I wasn't even trying to capture any of this. They just showed up on my camera. Pictures of tiny little completely white humans. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. I remember there was a case out in Scotland in the early 1900s where this woman claimed to have photographed sprites, but in reality she faked it all except for one photograph.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
You remember that? Yeah. Well, I've been really, really lucky in that, and I always thought that was neat, but I'd never been able to, and it just happened out of the blue to have this sprite sitting on my shoulder in one of my photographs. And she's wearing here's a picture of a fairy I captured on a tree right here, right there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there. Yes.
But there's a spirit above
That's
it trying
great.
his hands around it too. That's unedited, right there. Okay, that's a real photo that I took. And here are the group of souls. Do you see them?
Right in the center there. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah.
That's a bunch of.
Oh, you'd be fun to go into a cemetery.
Right.
You ever give ghost tours?
And if you touch the gravestone, it gives you all kinds of information.
Yeah, I was a little girl. I used to sneak over. My uncle had a farm, and there was a cemetery there, ancient cemetery. And I would sneak away and go over to the cemetery, and I'd put my hand on the tombs and on the gravestones, and I'd get all the stories. It was like listening to stories all day about their lives.
They come, and I'm not kidding you, when I was in Salem, first time I'd ever been to Salem, last year, and I was just walking around taking video, and here they come walking out of their tombstones on my video, standing there. And then I got pictures of what I thought was video of the Salem witch trials playing out in front of me. I am not kidding you when I say I've got that in photos and film. And it's like, I call tombstones now, I call them condos, because it's a small.
Yeah. Now, when you go to film your series, can you have your photographer, will it show on his camera, or is it only going to show on your camera?
Well, if people are with me and around me when I'm doing it, usually I can enhance someone's gift if they are gifted. But typically it'll show on mine. It may show on theirs, but it always shows on my camera. But I really.
Now, if you were to grab the camera you might want to try this. If you were to grab their camera and, which is the professional grade camera, and you hold it, you might want to test that to see if it comes through, camera with a lot of pixels and.
I'm sure it will. I'm quite sure it will. I might blow up their camera, but yeah. So
So this is a two-way relationship. They're it's not just that they're taking energy from you. They're giving you something. It feels really good to do this work. That's what they're giving you.
Like I said, I do it for free. I do it out of the kindness of my heart. And I, because I make my money as a chef. And I really, when I saw so many spirits, just standing there asking for help, you can't turn your back on that. And you just can't. And so I'm giving back the only way I know how, and it's for living humans as well as for the dead humans, helping them to find closure both sides, whether I knew them or I don't. But that's what I do. And I it's really hard to explain the gift, but I do. Here's the sprite sitting on my shoulder.
Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness.
I had
That's
no
wonderful.
idea it was on my shoulder. None when this was taken. None. Yeah.
Wow. So it just comes and sits on your shoulder. So how can you help when they're asking for help? What are they asking you to do?
A lot of them want to go into the light.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, I do blasts of white light, okay? It's in my hands. It's in the crown area, and I open up a doorway for them to go into the light. And that's what they want. I mean, I can do this and open up a doorway for them. They can cross. Some of them take a little bit longer. All of them come to me because, number one, they got a message to pass. Number two, they're lost. They need help. They, the yellow brick road kind of turned a little brown, a little dingy somewhere along the way. And they ended up in some grassland pasture and they don't know where the hell they are. So, they see me, they see my light, they come to me. A lot of them just want to get messages to their family. And so it's kind of like, because either they tell me or I record them.
Yeah.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it froze for just a minute. Yeah.
Okay.
So what they asked me at one point, I had Farrah Fawcett and Michael Jackson come, and Michael was really distraught. He did not want to be dead, so we worked with them for a while. But Farrah said she was fine and she was ready to go, and she said, "I don't even need help. I'm just leaving." But I was here to help Michael because she was holding him when they appeared to me. And it was like from behind, like a mother, like a child, and he was just sobbing. But she said, "We need help over here. We need someone that can do like psychotherapy for the dead." And she said, "Will you please learn how to do this and start working with the dead, because the dead need it as much as the living?" So we committed to it, but I don't know what to do. So this is perhaps a way of fulfilling a promise that we made years ago. that they're somehow to work with the dead and help them. And they do need a lot of help.
Yeah.
Right, Sasha?
Yeah.
You're off the screen here.
Yeah. Are we on the screen?
Yeah, we're right here.
Yeah, no, I study with Bill Baldwin. We have a whole ritual to send people to the light, and if they're from another world, to the particular light in their world, and we call on whatever, depending on the person's symbol, the archangel Michael and his band of light, and to cast a net around all those that might be involved in this, and to let them look within and see that they too are of the light. And now to go to your appointed place in the light, is there anything you want to say to the person before you leave them? Okay, goodbye. Have a nice trip.
Last 2 minutes are for you, dear. We're running out of time. Last 2 minutes for you. We're running out of time.
Last 2 minutes for me. Be kind to other people, whoever's listening. You know, you may get mad at the driver in front of you. You know, we're all human, but we're all going through a really hard time right now. And the best thing you can do is to be kind, because you never know if it's going to be you that next second that's taken, or your neighbor, a loved one, someone you didn't know, but maybe somehow you impacted their life. So please, please just show kindness in these days to come. And it will most certainly help you when it is your time for the other side.
And do you have a way for people to contact you?
Mary the Medium on Twitter. Mary Other Side Psychic on LinkedIn. Mary Johnson on Facebook. So that's Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. I think that's it. I have OtherSidePsychic.com website. I'm not very good at updating, but you know, you can reach me at OtherSidePsychic@gmail.com. I'll be glad to help, whatever I can do. You know, don't ask me about your job. Don't ask me about the lottery numbers, okay? And I will tell you exactly what I see, whether or not you want to hear it.
Thank you. That was awesome.